Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into two parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Hello, friends. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. As I was starting the show here on the video stream, I was pointing out the dark spots under my eyes. Now, they're always there, but I really pointed them out today. I was like, look at. They are never not there. And it's one of the things that I hate. And Maureen right away jumped in with both feet and wrote, "Holy hell, Easy, you look tired." And then Linda, Maureen's sister, suggested to Maureen that that's like an insult. Like, are you looking for a band hammer already? No, that's not the type of thing that would upset me. Bossing me around on my own show, different story. Telling me that I'm ugly, which is what Maureen's doing. No, I'm just fucking with it. I this is part of that thing I was talking about. I am every day that passes, I age like 1 year. It's just awful. And I look in the mirror now and I'm like, God, it's what a disaster. Just embarrassing. But I feel great. Absolutely great. Got lots of amazing things going on this weekend. This has been one of the busiest weeks in memory. 5 sporting events in 5 days. Not to mention, I'm with Impact Power Sports on Saturday for the camper and RV show, back to the scene of the crime where the fraud bus was born. And I'm going to go back and see the people who sold me the fraud bus and have discussions with them about who they're ripping off today. I'm excited. That's Saturday. I'll be at the with the folks at Impact Power Sports, along with Nick in the arena, who's there to provide testimonials about how happy he is with all the products he's purchased from them. Starting at 3 p.m. I'll be there from 3 p.m. to 5:30 tomorrow. Come see us over at the spot on the floor where it is dedicated to Impact Power Sports. And then, of course, hockey game after. And then Sunday is, and then Saturday night is the Lions game after you got the hockey game starts at 7, Lions game starts at 8. And then Sunday, I'm part of the Great Skate from noon to 2 at Rosa Park Circle, for those of you that live in where I live. But back to the Lions game. I just want to say this. Like on the radio, for my radio show, if the Lions lose, if they fuck this game up and lose, it will not be discussed on the air. I just don't want to talk about it. Unless if there's something other than, like, if there's something that's a story other than just losing the game. Nobody is going to, who is a fan of the Lions, is going to want to talk about losing. So I'm committing to this, to you as well, on Monday. I would talk about everything except the football team. Linda's got spirit. Yes, she do. She got spirit. How about you? She says it's a good thing they're not going to lose. You don't know that. I think they are. I don't want them to, but I think they are. End of the line. I want to offer any type of sympathy to any of you who have had a scenario where, like, your significant other left you for another lover and, like, kicked you to the curb. Because that's what I experienced last night while I slept. I had this vivid dream right at around midnight because when I woke up from it terrified, I looked at the clock. And now this all happened partly because Pooh Bear, I don't know, it might have something to do with it. She got up like about an hour before that and left the room because she was coughing. And she went to sleep in Madison's room. So I don't know if that had something to do with it or what, but suddenly it's just me and the dogs in the bed. And then the dream is she told me that we're done. And she's now got a new guy. And I don't remember who it was or what, but I just remember feeling so bad. And there wasn't anything like ridiculous. You know, like a lot of time in a dream, you'll have like, you know, that'll happen. And the next thing you know, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man's walking down the street, or Thor is riding a bike walking as you're walking along. So it was nothing like that. It was just, she just flew the coop. And then the rest of the dream was me telling family members that Pooh Bear left me for another guy. And I was repeatedly waking up and then going back to sleep, and then the goddamn thing keeps coming back. It's just a continuation. Are you kidding me? And it just went on and on, all the way until it was time to get up. I think you kind of have to do a factory reset when Rich says she went back to black. Yes. She went back to Adam Purnell. That was the guy that she was dating. I think she was just sleeping with him. It might have just been friends with benefits. She was way into Black D. It's one of the rare times that a white guy, where she actually went back. You know, once you go black, you never go back. She went back. And I was the guy she went back to. Every time I bring it up, she goes, Eric. Yeah, a 22-year-old black dude. It was Pooh Bear and this big black guy, and he was black like this computer mouse. Like this remote. That's how black he was. And then this fucking fresh-faced freshman comes walking in and steals her heart. And 37 years later, here we are. Look at the bottom of that mug. Anyway, so in this dream, I'm just like, fuck me. And I just felt so bad. And I felt it was so bad that I was tempted to go into her room and like love her up, you know, but she would have been pissed off if I woke her up, and I didn't want to do that. Linda says, I'm sure her kids love hearing about this. What are you talking about? You mean like my kids? Like our actual children? Is that what you're telling me? Or like the kids that she teaches in the school? I don't even know if any of my family listens to this show. If they do, don't tell me. I don't want to know. I don't want to talk about it. Let's not have the discussion of things that happen on the show away from the show. There was one asshole family member who I now hate and I'm never going to speak to again. You don't know him. Who literally would pay attention to all the shit, all the crazy shit I say on here. And then in the real world, he would like beat me up over it. And I'm like, yeah, go fuck yourself. Okay? Fuck off and die. You miserable fuck. Yeah, so I'm like thinking maybe I should wake her up. And then I'm like, no, don't do that. Just lay low. And then I should have gotten up and done the dream factory reset. You actually have to get up, like go potty, get a drink, let the dog out. And then, okay, now we can go back to bed. Now we can actually go back to bed. But no, I didn't do that. So the dream, it kept lingering on, haunting my ass. Awful. Linda is reporting that somebody on the NBC football broadcast, Steve Kornacki, just referred to the Washington Commanders as America's team. And she said, dude, America's cheering for the Lions. Yeah, I don't know why he would say that. Perhaps because they play their home games in the Capitol? I don't know. I don't think anybody gives a shit about the Washington Commanders. But you are right. People love the Lions just because not only the struggles they've had over the years, but, other people see how Dan Campbell treats his team. And they see how that team is all on the same page. I really believe that the Lions have the ability, if a player buys into the mentality, a player who is so-so on another team turns into a good player. And a good player turns into, like, a great player. And I've mentioned this before, and I also think that players who leave the Lions go from being great to good, good to fair, fair to shit, or not in the league. Meaning they bring the best out of their players. Now, a lot of people are saying that, well, Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, if you lose them, what's that? Well, look, I'll tell you this right now. Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn may be able to lead teams in their own way. But there is only one Dan Campbell. Okay? Dan Campbell is very unique, and I don't know. It's a lot of the charisma and the words he chooses to make these guys feel outstanding that makes them believers. You may have a guy, and those guys might have that. I don't know. I don't know how. I've never seen videos of Aaron Glenn trying to get the team motivated, nor Ben Johnson. So they might have all of the skills to do most of the things, but not all of them. And I think that's huge. So I think that the Lions have a great chance of continuing to be successful if those two coaches leave, because the only people that they're going to hire for those positions are going to they're going to have to buy into the way the Lions do business now. That type of mindset. And, get into that sweet spot of everybody has to have all the boxes checked in order to be on that team, I would assume. But you never know. It might turn into a pile of shit. That's why you don't take anything for granted with these fucking guys. It's been so fucking long. But there's a long way to go. You've got a lot of playoff games that you have to win. Saw something with my own eyes that was ridiculous yesterday at the Grand Rapids Gold basketball game. as I sat there courtside. By the way, on the other side of the court looking at me, the Gins. Troy Ginzer from Tag Accounting. That was awesome. So, first of all, they started off the game. They were down like 17-2, the goal. And I'm like, we're getting the shit beat out of us by this team from Toronto. And then it was pretty much the whole first half we were losing. And then started the third, the Grand Rapids Gold started to do okay. And then one particular guy on the Grand Rapids Gold, in one quarter, he scored 25 fucking points. His name is Trey Alexander. And then we just beat the shit out of him. At one point, after being down so much, at one point we were up by 40 in the second half. 40 fucking points. Outstanding. Before the game, you usually have like a dance troupe come out and dance to in front to, and they're going to perform at halftime, but they come out before the game to like figure out exactly how it is they're going to do what they're doing, make sure they have all their everything taken care of. And that was the case here. It was actually a group that was singing the anthem, and they came out about 30 minutes before the start of the game. There's hardly any fans there at this point. And they're from one of the high schools, and they're like the choral team. They're going to sing. And they're doing a type of singing, this type of fun, a cappella, cheery, saccharine type of song. And they're going to sing Penny Lane by the Beatles. And you got the girls are singing one part and the boys are singing the other, and they're bebopping along and harmonizing very nicely. And that the actual performance was fine. They were actually quite good, frankly, from Forest Hills Northern. But here's the thing. When you are doing this type of performance, anything, whether it be a marching band, whether it be a fucking magician, it doesn't matter. No surprises. Everybody's got to be on the same page. And we were not. Typically, you bring out a microphone and you mic them, and then it goes out to the arena. But not these guys. They wanted to do it their own way. And no one told anyone about this. So this is not good. You don't want any surprises if you're any part of the operations that makes all this happen, because you got to have microphones up and on, and then people in certain places, and it's all boring shit that you don't see, but you take for granted. And if it's not happening the way it's supposed to, it sounds and looks like shit. That happened because the guy who is the leader of the kids from the school, the asshole brings a Bluetooth speaker. A big one, but it's a Bluetooth speaker. It's about the size of an amplifier. It's square. It's probably like 2 feet by 2 feet. And he sets it down at center court. And what he's going to do is each kid has their own microphone. So there's 25 kids, each holding a microphone. And they're going to sing the song into that mic, and it's going to come out of that speaker. Now, that speaker is not enough to fill the space of an arena that holds 13,000 people. That would be like, if I'm playing music for you on the show, it's coming out of an earbud. You wouldn't hear that. So we're like 5 feet away from them at the scorer's table, and we can hear it, but everyone is like, what? And it's all going one direction. And it's not filling the room like it's supposed to. And this is what I'm fucking talking about. So if you're right in front of it, it sounds fine. So they think it sounds great. And Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. And then kids are going, there beneath the blue. Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. They're doing all that shit. And then it's gone. The Bluetooth speaker battery dies. They are no longer being amplified in any way, shape, or form. And they're still singing into the mics. And it's just their voices. There's no amplification. So what went from shit went to catastrophe. And we're all sitting there like this. And, they carried on with the song. And this was all because they did it the way they wanted to. And so then they're going to sing the national anthem, and they want to do it the same way. And now we're aware. Now we're on to them. Yeah, we'll just charge it up, and we're like, fuck that. So we pulled rank on music teacher and said, hey, asshole, no. You're going to put the kids up there. We're going to mic them appropriately like we actually know how to do. We have a stagehands union here. They know what the fuck they're doing. Let them do their jobs, asshole. Oh, my God. Corey says it's just like Lois on Family Guy. I don't know that. I don't know the reference. That's an old comment. I don't know. Who the fuck wants to listen to little kid voices singing shitty old songs? Well, they were young adults. Well, not young adults, but teenagers. And they sounded fine. I didn't hate how they sang, but it was just the technical aspect of it that went to shit. So no, I don't want to. This isn't the fault of the kids, you dipshit. It was the fault of the leadership. Cole says hopefully they were booed out of the stadium. No. It was just, and so then they came back and did the anthem, and it sounded okay. But I don't know. People always get cute with the anthem, and this happened in the anthem. The same asshole is leading them, and I don't know who came up with the idea of when you do the national anthem, before you go into the national anthem, they sing a verse from America the Beautiful. So it starts with 1, 2, 3. America, America, God shed his grace on thee. Oh, say, can you see? It's like... all right. So as they're walking off after they sing Penny Lane, I go, ladies and gentlemen, the Northern Singers from Forest Hills Northern High School. Great job. And then I said, not so great job for the Bluetooth speaker. And then there was like silence. So awkward. All right. I have an update on a story on the Patreon today that I will get to. An update on an incident that happened. I was not a part of it. I talked about it this week. It happened at the Grand Rapids Gold game earlier this week. And it involved, again, I had nothing. I watched it go down. And I will update that as to the ramifications of the actions of some. All right. Let's see. Where do I want to go now? I don't know. I have no idea. Amanda thinks that I get fired by saying that. No. The Grand Rapids Gold, I mean, I would really have to screw up. I will say this. Back in 2016, when I got fired from Free Beer, one of the things that happened when I got fired from Free Beer, this might have been the most over-the-top overreaction, my firing, to something that wasn't fireable that has ever existed. Because I got fired from the basketball team, too. When that all went down, I made fun of Joel Langlois' pants when the shot clock wasn't malfunctioning, or was malfunctioning, in a great story that happened on the air. And how I had to count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 for the shot clock. That's what I did. It's ridiculous that I would get fired for that. By the way, the anniversary of that is coming up. It will be 9 years. As that all went down, I got a phone call from the basketball team. And they said, yes, we play our games at the Deltaplex, Eric. And I go, yeah, I know. We heard about you getting fired at by WGRD. Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right, I did. And I'm thinking to myself, they're going to say how much they support me, and this is much to do about nothing. But then they said, unfortunately, we are going to fire you too. I'm like, what? Why? Yeah, it's not like Joel was their boss. He didn't own the team. They played their home games at that shithole. So I don't know why the fuck I got fired from that gig. So I was like, okay. That was, let's say, February. And then the season ends. Then there's the off season. And then November, it starts up again. Prior to that, I'm outside of Cumulus having a puff. And walking down the street is the owner of the basketball team. He goes, EZ. I go, hey, Steve, what's up, big fella? He goes, doing okay. You want to come back? I go, what? Yeah, you want to come back, be the PA announcer again? I go, well, yeah, I want to come. I didn't want to leave in the first place. The fuck is wrong with you? Are you serious? Yeah. What? Yeah, let's do it. You're hired. He hired me on the goddamn street. I'm like, well, why did this even happen in the first place? How ridiculous is this? I'm so glad it did, though. Getting away from free beer was a wonderful thing. You know, it was a pair of golden handcuffs. That radio station working with Hot Wings is a nice guy. I've said that many times before, but is completely out of his element. He's horrible on the air. But Greg is a tool. You know, being tied down by that piece of shit was a horrible, horrible experience. But it literally, golden handcuffs. Meaning, okay, yeah, I hate this job. I hate being in the same room with this guy. But it's a great gig. It's a great paying gig. I can't imagine much longer with that that asshole, you know. So at the end of the day, I'm glad I don't have to deal with his fucking ass anymore and all the bullshit. And it's actually quite exciting to see corporate radio take a huge shit like it has right now. By the way, I found out that for those of you who know, Justin Barclay got fucking fired from his Detroit radio gig. Fuck you, Justin. You're a piece of shit. Nick is here, probably to talk some more shit about the veterinarian industry. He says the Dungaplex was always a dump. It was sold and it went out of business. Corey says you should call Justin again. You know what's interesting about that is I just stumbled upon something. Justin, that's the guy that was the producer for the Free Beer and Hot Wing Show for for a couple of years. He was shit. The last time I called Justin, I don't know if I shared this with you. I think I did. The last time I called Justin, and actually got him on the air here, on the broadcast, he was so pissed off at me, he again called the boss of my radio station, which is entirely separate from this. There is no overlap whatsoever. All right? Nothing I do here affects anything I do there. The only thing, unless if I said like the N-word, if I suddenly did that and did something that could get me canceled, that's different. And I'm obviously not going to do that. Justin sent this email to the radio station. Cheryl, I reached out to you in the past about one of your employees, Eric Zane, harassing me in his history of harassment. I sent you pictures as proof. I'm highly disappointed that you never responded to me, but yet told Eric that the email came in. Eric just ambushed me. I moved to Washington a few months ago to start my life over and help my dad with his businesses. Eric just called my dad's business in Washington State, asked for my number, and called me. Yeah, they gave me his cell phone number. I believe I was being recorded even though he did not tell me I was. I've been harassed by Eric for years, ever since I took over his job at Free Beer and Hot Wings. You did not take over my job, asshole. Okay? This type of behavior is completely unacceptable, and you allowing it to happen worsen will not be tolerated. You are responsible for your brand's reputation and everyone who represents it. I have sent the proper documentation to those over your head. There is no one over her head. She is the owner. There's no one. She actually sent me an email and said, hey, yeah, who's over my head? The banks? I sent it over your head asking for their assistance to make this harassment stop. It's unfortunate you continue to employ Eric and allow him the platform to hurt people. I encourage you to respond to complaints of harassment and settle the issue immediately. This seems like a letter you get from like a one of those Nigerian scams. I left the business due to the horrendous work environment radio provides, and you are part of the problem. I wish this email and process never had to happen. I'm just trying to live my life and find happiness. I've never done anything to Eric nor spoke to him. I hope this email finds you well and corrections are made in the way you handle harassment complaints. Signed, Justin Nettlebeck. Oh, my God. Jeremy says he should be more pissed at his dad for giving out his phone number than at you for using the information. Did I save that number? I don't know that I did. I should have. Oh, that's all right. I can just call his dad and get it from any time. Corey says he took Joe's job. Joe took your job. Yeah, I guess. Chris says he's such a victim. This is true. All right. Thank you for checking out this show on Facebook. I'm going to kick you all out, though, and head on over to Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live, if you want the rest of it. Every day the show starts on Twitch, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m., sometimes 10 a.m.-ish. Most of the time, 10 a.m.-ish. Fridays, 9 a.m. Most of the time, 9 a.m.-ish. Download the Twitch app at Eric Zane Live, and you can get the show live as it happens, Monday through Friday. In fact, right now on the Twitch stream, there appears to be somebody who needs to be blocked. I don't know what. This is one of those bots. that are taking over the world, I guess. All right. I bombed the Boomer Bunker show yesterday. I was actually sitting at the scorer's table during the basketball game, and I got a notification on Twitch and said, hey, you might like this show. The Boomer Bunker is live. And I went ahead and pushed the button, and there they are, those two piles of flesh. Gorgeous Kate and John Jamingo. And they've gotten to be so large that they just look like heads on the shit emoji. That's what they actually look like. And they're just like, and I can't hear what they're saying. I just, and there's 11 people watching, which is where the direction of my show is going. And I commented, can I try to guess the weight of you two combined? And somebody I don't know said, easy. Yeah, do it. And so I put 757. I don't know if they acknowledged my presence. They probably did not. Then I said, Kate, for entertainment, grab your webcam, run to the fridge, and eat the fridge. I then said I better get out of here. So I got out of it. Resumed doing my job at the game. Then I went back 30 seconds later because I can't help it. And I typed, you should talk about how Boring Dean lost his horse jacker job because his own sister fired him. I let that one settle in. Hopefully that fucking monster Boring Dean saw it. And then that was it. I was out. Chris says Jamingo looks bigger than I have ever seen him, and he claims he's lost 100 pounds on Ozempic. Yeah, well, I think he was probably starting out hundreds more than that. Jeremy, who is losing weight himself, he says, imagine having that much weight to lose and not having the willpower to do it without drugs. Yeah, I don't know about that, Jeremy. When you're that big, I mean, he's 1,000 pounds. It's not going to matter. I mean, he could lose 700 and he'd still be way more than you. He's that big. He's a recluse. He can't even get away from that computer. You know, he's like that Cartman when he got fucking fat. Yeah, you don't want to. I don't fault anybody for taking any medicine that makes them lose weight. I really don't. Especially the ultra huge. Okay? Like Amanda here. She says, Jeremy, I'm looking for some help like that right now. I don't want to be the guy to say that people who use Ozempic are cheating or, I mean, it's fucking great. I absolutely think you should do that. If you have the means to get your hands on that and it doesn't break the bank, you know, it doesn't matter. I don't give a shit if it's black magic. Like if Jamingo goes to Haiti and gets some voodoo done to make him lose weight and it works, good. That's good. Now he's not, and he's going to die. And I'm not going to care. That's what's going to happen. Amanda says she ordered a supplement. I'm waiting for it to be delivered. And those don't work. If it's Ozempic, it works. But if you're going to fall for online things like supplements, yeah, those aren't effective, unfortunately. They just stole your money. Those do not work. You have to actually use the drug. That how can there be a drug and you're ordering the wrong thing? It's at your fingertips, you dumbass. I am excited about the weigh-in on Monday. And I can't wait to see how you guys are doing. Amanda, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little suspicious of you. I am not suspicious of Jeremy because he's got 16 going on 17 weeks of success. But you are a fad person. You're always diving into fads and shit. So you're probably going to fuck this up. I think you already are. Because you're also quite dumb, and that like affects things that you do. She says, I have a year's supply of whatever this is I bought for a fraction of what Ozempic costs. So are you suggesting that it's effective because you have a lot? You see, that's what I mean. That's the level of dense that you are. Yeah, I went ahead and I saw some scam on the back of a porno magazine, and I ordered it, and it's a year, and it saved me big money, so it's just as good as Ozempic. Hey! Quit it. Quit wasting your money on dumb shit. All right. So I'm not yet ready to throw you out of the group. We are down to 2, but you know, if you start doing this up and down shit and yeah, hey, well, yeah, that didn't work, so now I'm doing this. Yeah, I'll just throw you out on your face. Well, I won't throw you out. I'll just pretend you're not there, and you won't be allowed to participate. Okay? Jeremy is the template that you must be. What's remarkable is he is providing us a tangible example, a real-world example of how this is actually working. Over 60 pounds in 16 weeks, and yet we're getting people who want to do it a different way. I don't understand. Corey's going to get a timeout. He's been out of control this whole show, dominating the chat with bullshit. And now he's like doing his own podcast. He's talking about Elon's rocket blew up last night and rained debris down everywhere. Well, what if I was talking about that? I'm not, but what if I was? Yeah, sit the fuck down, idiot. Unbelievable. Okay. For you folks on Facebook, you can find me on Patreon as well. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. I've got 40 episodes of Who Are These Free Beers completed in the can, ready to go. We'll be doing a new episode next week. I've got a bunch of new material for us to cover. Crazy-ass week this week. That's why we didn't do a new show, but we will be doing a new show, Ben and I, along with the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast next week. And you can sign up for free, excuse me, at patreon.com/Eric Zane, patreon.com/Eric Zane. Okay, they are gone. The open and live stream of today's show brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, and EV. You can find them at ervines.com. Stand by. That's ervines.com. 616-532-6600. Get your car repaired at Irvine's. Side note, before I continue with these ads, this is so stupid. There is a race car driver at Berlin named Adam Casari. He drives one of the limited late model cars. And he's also a realtor. And we just made an arrangement where his car is going to be the number 9K. You know, it's like, yeah, and here comes Casari in the Eric Zane Show podcast, number 9 car. I'm sponsoring his car. My logo's on it. It's going to be awesome. And in exchange, I talk about him being a realtor on this show. So hopefully if you need to buy a house, you're going to go to him. And in exchange for the marketing I'm giving him, he is putting my logo on his car. He says, is your face going to be on it? Yes. Well, my logo has my face on it. So, yes, my face will be on his car. Now, I am a secondary sponsor. I'm not the one on the hood. He actually offered me the one on the hood. And I said, you know, that's very valuable to you, like dollars and cents. And don't give me that. I just want to be on one of the quarter panels. Because you got race car drivers, the money that they get from sponsorships, it's for fuel, it's for tires. You know, I go, I don't want to be a main sponsor. It's going to be secondary, and then I'll give you the appropriate amount of marketing. Okay, done deal. Shake hands. And then he says to me, he goes, can I, as I am getting my sponsors for my car, let's say I get Joe's Plumbing. Can I say to them that you will mention them on the show? I go, well, this is what I'll do. If I'm mentioning you on the show as the realtor, I'll say, Adam Casari, the driver of the number 9 Joe's Plumbing car, is your realtor on the Eric Zane Show podcast. So they'll get mentioned. He says, even if there's a conflict, if I have a roofer, can I mention them? I go, absolutely. It's not my client, it's your client. And all I'm saying is the driver of the Joe's Roofing number 9 limited late model car, I'm not saying go get your roof from Joe. I'm just saying that's the sponsor on your car. Absolutely. There is no conflict. So he's pitching that in hopes to, it's a little scratch my back, scratch each of our backs. And I said, yeah, go ahead. If that can get you more dollars and cents for your car, by all means. He goes, okay. So he calls upon some guy who, he goes, hey, so I pitched 616 Painting. Never heard of this in my life. And I said to them, hey, and we can, and you can get mentioned on the Eric Zane Show podcast. He has, of course, his audio podcast, his live stream, and that's what we're doing. And this guy goes, no, I'm not interested in that. He goes, well, it's part of your package. When you buy on my car, you get it. You actually get the mention. It's like a perk. No. And he goes, okay, can I ask why? So this is how stupid this dipshit is. He goes, well, I don't see how that's effective. I was on there, and I didn't get any calls. I don't see how logos on a live stream is going to get my message out there. And so much, I have so many questions about that. It's like, well, first of all, moron, like it fucking matters. It doesn't matter if I'm pulling 616 Painting behind a fucking airplane in a neighborhood. If I see it, I see it. That's all that matters. So I don't understand that. Second of all, The live stream is not the lion's share of my audience. We've talked about this a billion times. It's the audio podcast. And you're getting it for free. Nope. So then I go to Adam. I go, yeah, I have never spoken to this person, nor has this person ever been on my podcast. I know everyone who has ever been on my podcast. I even went ahead, because I keep a file folder on my computer of every person I have ever even sent out an exploratory hello, how are you email. Can I send you information about my show? You know, the icebreaker. I have all of that over the past 6 years and several days. And there are about 200 different people that I have approached with in that manner. And none of them are this dude. So I don't. First of all, he's 100% wrong. It's one of the most effective bits of branding that anybody could ever do, in a cost-effective measure, because it's still a fucking podcast at the end of the day. I never overcharge people, and I'm like, what a dipshit! What a fucking stupid asshole! My God. So I guess what I'm telling you is, in the future, search for any other painter. All right? Molly says, what happened? She's got fear of missing out. Oh, did you miss out, Molly? You're going to have to go back and check it out. Amanda says yikes for some reason. Why is that yikes? Jeremy says this guy is probably paying big bucks for advertising on AM radio. All right. Where was I? Got totally distracted. Wouldn't have it any other way. This is one of those examples where, now that, I would get in trouble with sponsors all the time, but that was like 100 times worse than any time I had ever gotten in real trouble from a sponsor. The problem now is, I'm in charge. So if anybody complains, I just tell them to fuck off. So that's pretty much it. Amanda said, because you're kind of screwing them now, so they should be saying yikes. Oh, I got you. Well, no, I'm not screwing them. I'm just telling the story. That's their words. So Molly says if someone is bitching about ads, they can fuck off. No, that's not what's happening here. Amanda actually did do that once. Amanda, do you remember when you did that? It was very early in the growth period of my show where I was crushing it, putting different marketing partners on, finding my way in my business. And your dumbass showed up here and said, hey, I'm drawing the line. I'm drawing the line. Too many ads on this show. I don't like that. Do it different. You're the same asshole who gave me so much grief about the podcast being in 2 acts. Have you ever thought to yourself that instead of biting into your bonbons, you should bite your tongue? Has that ever occurred to you at any time in history, dumbass? Joe Martinez is here. Speaking of sponsors, Joe is in the middle of a hiatus here. He works for a heating and cooling company. He will be back, hopefully, in the spring when we are talking about you getting a tune-up for your furnace, or I should say for your air conditioning system. He is giving me the finger. There is no reason for that type of hostility here. We have been nothing but supportive of you as you navigate a health concern right now. Amanda says, I've hired Joe before. The Devil Within says, I've hired Joe before. Yes, that's because marketing on my show works. Joe is busy recovering and spending money on jerseys and trips to Mexico. So he is taking a little bit of time off. And then he will be back to market his heating and cooling business. Linda says, I'd hire him, but he's not welcome in East Lansing. Joe will be watching the Lions game this weekend, I think, or at least paying attention to whether or not the Lions win or lose. Now, Joe is probably a huge Lions fan and probably on the bandwagon after their marvelous 15-win season. Now, I'm here to tell you, Joe, that the Lions will lose against the Washington Commanders. I'm curious as to if you think perhaps that is true. He says to Linda that he is actually working right now in Lansing at his nameless, faceless, from his nameless, faceless heating and cooling company over at Jiffy Lube. Congrats to you on the gig, fine sir. All right. Joe, I'm asking you, do you think the Lions are going to win against the Washington Commanders? I need to know that. Oh, there it is. He says they're going to bow down to the Commanders. I agree. Lions lose, end of the season. And then we are all sad, and you are saying nasty things to us on Monday about this. That's what you'll be doing. I will be saying, I told you so. But I hope I'm wrong. Anyway. Joe, if you have second thoughts and actually do want to continue marketing for the next 3 months, I will give you a 1-day grace period to let me know. And then you can say bad things to me as much as you want. Just like Frank Fuss at My Policy Shop Insurance. Go to his website, buyinsurancehere.com. That's buyinsurancehere.com. And he can help you out with Obamacare. He can also get you started on a fantastic life insurance policy to take care of you and yours in the event that something goes wrong. Also, if you are getting set to take advantage of Medicare or get your Social Security benefits, there are several steps that have to take place that might trip you up if you don't have a trained expert helping you every step of the way. Frank does not charge for his services. He gets paid by the insurance companies, and he wants you to reach out to him via his website, buyinsurancehere.com. That is buyinsurancehere.com. King's Room Barbershop is where I get my hair cut. I think I'm due again. I'm due about every 2 weeks, and then I always go long. King's Room Barbershop, online at kingsroom.net. 3 locations, Caledonia, Northland Drive, and Wyoming, 821 36th Street in Wyoming, Michigan. Haircuts cost $19 at King's Room Barbershop. They cut hair for dudes and chicks who like short hair. Okay. There is a pause in the action on this show. Joe writes, Easy, I say bad things about you whether or not I market. Amanda says, okay, I got to go into work. See you all Monday for the weigh-in. All right, throw out your dumb supplements. Quit saying dumb things. And you better not screw this up or you're out. You're already on probation. Okay. I'll be back after a short break. Your old pal EZ has to go tinkle. You know how it is. All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much. All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.